Hello, my name is Mike Hobbs, and I am your instructor for this semester. First of all, I want to say welcome to economics, and thank you for enrolling in my course. I want to begin by telling you a little bit about myself, and we'll also talk about what we will cover in this course, what my expectations are of you, and also what your expectations are from the course. First of all, let me start out by saying this is the first time that I have ever videotaped a course lecture, so if you will bear with me through this video process, and hopefully by the end of the semester I will have become an expert in videoing lectures. So if you can't hear me or if you can't see me very well, then please let me know and I'll retake the videos and I'll make sure that you get all the information that you need. I wanted to say too that do not worry about taking notes during the video presentations that I do. So put your pens down, you don't have to take notes. Everything that I tell you in a video presentation, I'm going to put it in our online shell because I do talk fast and I do tell a lot of stories. So the purpose of you watching the videos is so that I can come across with my intent of what I want you to get out of this course. We will talk about what the college wants you to learn from the course competencies, the buzzwords, the formulas. We will cover that in the course. That is important to the stability of the course and to economics. But what I want you to get from the course is to be able to relate economics to your daily life. I want you to be able to see how price points will affect your daily life, how equilibrium works in your daily life. If you're watching TV and someone is saying something that concerns economics, I want you to be able to relate to what they're saying and also to be able to tell if they're telling the truth or if you have a different opinion of that. So anyways, we'll get started. First of all, as you already know, my name is Mike Hobbs. It may be listed online as Philip Hobbs. Philip is my first name. Mike is my middle name. I always laugh. Never call your child by their middle name because it's crazy. Credit cards, teaching classes, everything. Just call your child by their first name, so I have to go through that. One thing that you'll see about me is that I'm very personable. I'm very open to meeting with you, talking with you by telephone, email. If you want to come by my office, I'm definitely open to that. I'm very personable, and I enjoy teaching the course, and I enjoy working with students. I do this on a part-time basis. My full-time job is Dean of Student Enrollment at Jefferson State Community College here in Birmingham. I work with everything from financial aid, admissions, registration, dual enrollment, athletics, ADA, student disciplinary. If you name it, if it's student-wise, I'm probably doing that or involved in it at Jefferson State. So I stay pretty busy with my full-time job. A little information about me. I actually grew up here in Birmingham. I attended Inslee High School, and after that I went on to Jefferson State in the evening program at Jefferson State, graduated from Jefferson State. Then I went on to UAB in the evening, graduated from there as well, and then went on to Mississippi State to finish my postgraduate degree there. And that's kind of when I fell in love with economics. That's when I began taking my postgraduate economics courses. And we'll talk a little more about that later too. I'm a father of 3. I have 2 girls and a boy, which are my life. I have fun with them. They are everything to me, and they are probably one of the largest economic engines that drives our household. I coach youth sports. I started coaching my own kids. I loved it. It's something that is pleasure for me. This last year, my son and I both decided that I did not need to coach him, that we were tying up a little too much, so we were going to take a break. And somehow the park needed a coach for an older team, and somehow I ended up volunteering to coach a team that did not have any of my children on it. However, my children were playing the same sport. So it was a little crazy, but that's how much I love it. And I love to tell stories. So you'll see that in my lectures, because I think that stories are relatable. If you hear how it affects a person on a daily life, then you're relatable, you're more likely to understand it, you're more likely to retain it. And my kids and the kids that I coach in youth sports, say some of the funniest, craziest things. And so we will definitely talk about some of those stories too. If you have kids, or you will have kids, you will see how they affect your personal economic standing. That it just is the way it works. So, but we will definitely talk later about that. I fell in love with economics when I was at Mississippi State. I had some great instructors. I was always a little nervous to take economics because the formulas scared me. The vocabulary with it was just so much, and some of the terms and the different things were a little scary. It was a different social science. It was more like a real science course, and so. But then the instructors made the difference for me. They were in love with it. They were passionate about it. I became passionate about it. I enjoy hearing other people talk about it. So that's what I want to bring to you. So as far as course competencies, the things that we're supposed to cover, absolutely we're going to cover those. But what I want you to have is a personal relationship with economics. I want it to touch you personally, and so we will make sure that when you leave this class that you have interest in economics. Hopefully you want to take an additional level economics class. So we will talk about predictions. That's what I love about economics. Economics is a science that takes historical data and sometimes uses secondary data analysis when you take previous data to make assumptions or make predictions. So you will hear us talking about the prediction value economics a lot. That's the fun part of economics. Basically, economics is two words: supply and demand, and many other attributes that go along with that. But we will talk about that in your everyday life. You can always count on the price point, depending on how much someone is willing to pay for something. How much others will pay for it is what drives the price point. So we'll look at price point. We'll determine what the price point should be, what it shouldn't be. If someone is willing to pay for it, then that's the price that it will bring. A great example for that is if you go to an NFL football game, some of the tickets are $150, $200 a ticket. And you think, how does a family of 5 afford $1,000 to go to a 2-hour football game? Well, the reason why those tickets cost that price is because somebody's willing to pay for it. Now, we will talk about how big businesses and how government sometimes drives prices up, but we'll talk about all of that. But if somebody's willing to pay for it, then that's the price that it will bring. Economics is the prognostication of the price point. If you guess it right, you'll be successful. If you're too high on your price point, or you're too low in your price point, you'll fall short and your venture will not work out for you. So price point, prediction value will be two of the things that we really focus on. We'll talk about the core of economics. We said that supply and demand. We'll talk about the short run, the long run. We'll talk about trade-offs. We'll talk about complements and substitutes. Remember, I don't want you writing any of this down. All this will be in your PowerPoints. It'll be in your books. I just want you to hear it come from me so that when you do read my lectures or you read my PowerPoints, I hope the inflection in some of the points will come through. But complements and substitutes. Substitutes. If the price of Pepsi goes up, more people buy Coke. If the price of Coke goes up, more people buy Pepsi. And you can see they drive each other. Substitutes. If you can substitute for something, we'll talk about different types of substitutes. We'll talk about complements. For example, why do hot dog buns come in a pack of 8, but hot dogs come in a pack of 10? So they're complements of each other. Why do they have that difference? So we'll talk about all that. Also the Federal Reserve and how it controls money supply. We will talk about markets, both domestic and international and local. We'll talk about how the web has affected the market. As you've seen what the market's doing right now, it's kind of a little crazy. We'll talk about the difference between a bull market and a bear market. As you know, with a bull market, if a person is optimistic and believes that the stocks will go up, he or she is called a bull, and so therefore is said to be a bullish outlook. If it's a bear market, that is when the economy is not looking good. It looks like we're heading toward a recession. So knowing the difference between the two, finding balance to be able to look out for it is something that we'll work on. We will talk about efficiency in economics, how to make your ventures more efficient. We'll talk about equilibrium as the price point moves. We'll also talk about sunken costs. You know, sunken costs is a big thing. In a household, we have sunken costs all the time. Any individual or person has a sunken cost. We've all held on to something a little longer than we should have held on to it. And then it ends up losing value, and we should have got rid of it when we should have. So we'll talk about how to use formulas and historical data and secondary data analysis to come up with sunken costs, and when do you cut your losses. We'll talk about opportunity costs.